Hi, everyone. I was recently asked how to handle people who are being difficult and just generally unpleasant around the whole Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney thing. I had a long, productive conversation. Um, there were a lot of good conclusions that I want to share. Um, I'm going to do the best I can to remain neutral because I honestly don't care. I am way too Gen X to even care um, about beers and transgender influencers. Um, yeah, my life doesn't really revolve around either of those things. Um, Perhaps that's why I've been able to navigate this issue. Um, but I'll get into it, and I'll give you some good tips and some good conclusions that we came to, so that if you're inextricably bound to somebody who's a narcissist or a conflict seeker or emotionally unstable, you can navigate it successfully. So, right, let's get into this. First of all, the vast majority of people just don't care. You have to understand that it is a hyper minority of the population that makes a ton of noise. So we hear the most from the smallest groups of people that hold no influence over our lives. And it's important to keep that in mind, right? So if you're being inundated with Bud Light stuff, Dylan Mulvaney stuff, transphobia, freedom of speech, the rights of companies to do business however they see fit, if you're being inundated with that, just understand that like out of the entire marching band, you have the one tuba player with the tuba on your head blasting you, right? Not, it's just one small person in the band. Okay? So it's important to realize that the issue is really not a big issue. Plus, the issue is not going to make it past Memorial Day weekend because two things are going to happen Memorial Day weekend. Number one, either everybody's going to be going to whatever Memorial Day party it is they're going to. There's going to be beer and drinking there. And if there's Bud Light there, somebody might eventually have to weigh their desire to be drunk against their desire to be sober and have to make a decision. Okay? Or they're going to go to a party where there's no Bud Light there and everybody's going to have a good time and they're going to realize, guess we don't care about Bud Light like we thought we did. I don't see this going past Memorial Day. I really don't. Because the type of people upset about this issue are the type of people who will feel a lot better after Memorial Day. We'll leave it at that. I will be very surprised if it makes it past Memorial Day. So first of all, foreshortened time period. This is not going to be an issue for very long. It's really not. Dylan Mulvaney will get her 15 minutes of fame. She'll probably be a long-term influencer and probably be a name we recognize, like Paris Hilton, even though Paris Hilton hasn't been in the headlines for decades. Some of us are old enough to remember why she was ever a headline. So, just add Dylan Mulvaney to pop culture, whatever it's happening, okay? Now, how to deal with these people. Regardless of whatever position it is they're taking, okay, either side, this strategy works, and that's to keep the conversation interrogative, okay? The majority of times when there's conflict, whenever there's any pathogenic personality, the pathogen occurs through disagreement, through conflict, emotional instability, that type of thing. None of those pathogenic personality traits work well when they're answering questions. Okay? So, good questions to ask is, you say, well, yeah, Bud Light, Dylan, blah, 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 right? Either way, it's like, I don't understand why people care about this. So, like, I literally don't care. Well, how can you not care? Well, it's simple. I don't drink Bud Light. I never liked Bud Light. It's not a real beer. I don't drink it. I don't care. They don't speak for me. I didn't even know who Dylan Mulvaney was. So as far as I'm concerned, a beer that I don't drink can put somebody that I haven't heard of on their can. They don't speak for me. So yeah, like I don't understand why people care what Budweiser puts on their can. It's not, who cares? I don't. I'm way too Gen X to care. That's become one of my favorite go-to phrases too. I'm way too Gen X to care about this, right? It's, for whatever reason, it works, right? It says a lot with a few words. And you say, no, I really don't care. Well, you should care because blah, blah, blah. It's like, probably, but I don't. Literally don't care. You know? Yeah, maybe they could have chosen a different trans activist. Right. You know what would have been interesting is a hypothetical. If they had put Caitlyn Jenner on the can, I wonder if people would still care because Caitlyn's Republican. And Caitlyn used to be Bruce Jenner. And Bruce Jenner was on a Wheaties box, right? And nobody ever went knocking on Wheaties' door asking for an apology for having put Bruce Jenner, back when Bruce was Bruce, on Wheaties, right? So, yeah, they probably could have picked a different trans influencer, trans activist, transgender person, right? But at the end of the day, what does it matter who they put on the can? Like, why does this matter? Like, I don't think it really matters, right? A fake beer put a fake person on, because Dylan is a performance artist, first and foremost. Dylan can be a trans woman, that's plenty fine, but the whole 365 days of girlhood, it's a performance because it has a title. It's not a documentary, right? It's not a vlog. He's given it the name, 365 days of girlhood. Now, regardless of how you feel about trans people, I think it's a terrible idea for grown adults to seek to behave as immature juveniles, right? So an adult Homo sapien should not turn around and purposefully begin acting like a juvenile Homo sapien unless it's performance art, okay? So that's just kind of how I chalk it up. Dylan Mulvaney can be a trans woman. She can be non-binary. They can be non-binary. They can have their pictures on Bud Light cans. They can have their picture on tuna fish cans. They can have their picture on cans of corn. It doesn't really impact me. So even if they put the picture on a can of beer that I drink, it doesn't affect the flavor of the beer. The beer is still the same. So, and it's not like they're refusing to sell me the beer. Like, it's what I don't understand. So when you go and you buy your Bud Light, are you required to sign a statement that says, I believe trans women are women? No. If you like the beer, you can drink the beer. The formula hasn't changed. The product hasn't changed. Just don't like the paint job, right? You wouldn't have two Corvettes next to each other, and one Corvette, identical Corvettes, one of them is bright sports car red, and the other one is Dylan Mulvaney pink. Anybody worth their salt is going to say that whatever the color of the car is, whatever the wrap is on the car, if they're fundamentally identical cars, then one's not going to outperform the other. So it's a silly issue, and it's a silly issue only silly people care about. So again, just to wrap this up, like, it's the gray rock approach is to just say, yeah, I just really don't care, and you can give all the reasons you don't care, and they can give all the reasons that they do care. That's plenty fine, and you can just say, no, that's cool. I can understand. I can see your perspective. I understand your perspective, right? I It's just that I don't care, right? Everybody has, you can feel your way, and I'm sure you disagree with plenty of people on the issue. I just don't care enough to agree or disagree. I don't care. I don't drink that beer. I don't know who Dylan Mulvaney is. It doesn't impact my life. Did Dylan Mulvaney come and repossess my car or foreclose my home? Then I would care. I would care very much if Mr. Cooper, which is my mortgage servicer, I would care very much if my mortgage servicer sent Dylan Mulvaney to foreclose my home and kick me and my family out of our house. I would probably care then if Dylan Mulvaney and his 365 days of girlhood were going around kicking families out of their home. I might have an opinion about that has nothing to do with whether or not Dylan Mulvaney identifies as a man or a woman. It's like, no, you just identify as a real asshole kicking people out of their homes. That's your identity. That's your pronoun, right? Dylan Mulvaney is free to do whatever she wants to do, believe whatever she wants to believe whatever they want to believe, he, she, they, whatever. It's just words. It's just performance art, and it's just one person's self-identity, and it's just one brand of beer that I don't care about. And even if a brand I did care about put someone I don't care about on their can, I still wouldn't care, because the only thing that matters is this beer delicious? Yes. All right. Put a koozie on it then. Right? Put a paper bagger, right? Just put a koozie over it so you don't have to see the face. And nobody's going to care about this past Memorial Day anyways. So hang in there. Yeah. And it's like I said in the beginning, I don't think very many viewers have a problem with people, but sometimes you just have that nagging coworker, or just people that care about things they shouldn't care, or they're trying to be a problem, whatever. They can't argue with, I just don't care. I just don't care. I'm sure you feel that way. Cool. Yeah, Bud Light is breaking ground and getting behind the trans movement, and they're making wonderful strides. It's a step in a direction. You can believe it's the right direction, or you can believe it's the wrong direction. It's a direction. Bud Light, made their direction known. You can feel however you want to feel about it, but I don't care. I don't drink Bud Light, and I don't watch Dylan Mulvaney. And from what I've seen, I don't like seeing an adult acting like a child. It's just not for me. It has nothing to do with gender. I didn't really care. The whole Justin Bieber thing when he was younger, adults acting like children isn't really entertainment. So, and that's it. Hope this helps. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you guys on another video.